Hey, what's up, family? This is Marseille, the property pastor here with Kingdom Legacy Builders, where our mission is to help everyday people like you and me to build a lasting legacy for our children and our children's children using real estate investing and wealth building principles. I want to thank you guys for tuning into the video today. I'm going to be talking all about the investor mindset. Been doing a new series just talking about the mindset you need as a real estate investor, what it takes to be successful. And today I want to talk about something called the compound effect. The compound effect. And what that is basically little things done consistently add up to big things over time. And the truth is, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but they underestimate what they can do in 5 to 10. And real estate investing is a primary example of that. Now, people, I deal with lots of folks who will say, by next year, I'm going to be retired. I'm going to have 100 houses. I'm going to be rich. But the reality of real estate investing is that it is a marathon and not a sprint. Now, like I said, most people overestimate what they're going to be able to do in 1 year. We're coming up on the end of 2021, and when 2022 comes around, people are going to have a ton of energy. They're going to be motivated. They're going to be talking about all their goals, all things they want to do, right? But unfortunately, they have overestimated what they can do in 1 year, and they haven't made the steps or taken the steps that are necessary to get there. Now, I believe one of the quotes that I've heard that really stuck with me a long time ago was that the enemy of our best self is our future self. Let me say that again. The enemy of our best self is our future self. Now, what does that mean? What that means is that what we do is we'll say, tomorrow I'm going to read this. Next week, I'm going to make that offer. Next year, I'm going to take my first real estate investing course. I'm going to offer my first property. And what ends up happening is that next year turns into next year. And before we know it, a year is turned into three is turned into 5, and we're totally discouraged. Hey, so before we get started, I want to remind you guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that share button. By subscribing, you're going to get keyed into some of the great content that we're publishing, that we're dropping every single week to help you to build that legacy. And also, I want to give a special shout out to my guy, Randall Crowder, over at Healthy Mental. They blessed me with this hoodie that says mindset over skill set. And that's what we've been talking about through the course of this series. And we're getting our mind right, y'all. And a big part of real estate investing is getting your mind right. But make sure you check out Healthy Mental. They got some great merchandise, all the stuff you need for workout gear, for day-to-day active wear and things like that. But their link is actually down in the comment section. So make sure you check out the folks over at Healthy Mental. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Now, most people overestimate what they can do in 5 years, overestimate what they can do in 1 year, and underestimate what they can do in 5. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is they will go and they will overestimate all of the things they can get done in a year. And they're like, okay, next year, I'm going to go and get, I'm going to get my first property. I'm going to get 10 properties, as a matter of fact. And they underestimate, but then on the flip side, they underestimate what they can do in 5. And the compound effect talks all about little things done well and consistently over time produce great results. Now, one quote I love, or one quote that I loved and I kind of live by, is that the enemy of our best self is our future self. Now, I've learned that tomorrow, Marseille, always has time. Tomorrow, Marseille is going to figure it out. Tomorrow, Marseille is going to do it well. Tomorrow, Marseille is taking massive action. But the problem is that tomorrow, Marseille always lives in tomorrow. And I can't control tomorrow unless I do the right things today. So what happens, right? When our future self is like, hey, I'm going to learn that new skill. Our future self is like, I'm going to start exercising, eating right. Our future self will say things like, I'm going to make an offer on a property. Our future self is like, I'm going to get a mentor. I'm going to start going to real estate meetups. All of these things, our future self is saying they're going to do that stuff. But the problem is our future self, right, never becomes our present self. And the compounding effect talks about little things done consistently over time yield great results. Now, I have seen this lived out in my own journey, my own real estate journey, because I've been investing now for about 4 years. And in that process, there was a lot of things I didn't know. And there's still a lot of things I don't know. Every day I'm learning new stuff. But in the journey, looking at the whole magnitude of information out there, all of the experiences I didn't have, that could be overwhelming. But by taking it into bite-sized pieces and learning a little bit each and every day, over time, I learned creative financing. Over time, I learned how to negotiate a deal. over time, I learned how to deal with a seller. I learned how to deal with the bank. I learned private money. I learned how to manage a rehab. I learned how to manage my properties. But those things didn't just come, right? And my future self would have easily said, hey, over and, you'll do that next year, you do it next month. But until my present self said, okay, let me break this down into small pieces, that's when I'm going to get there. So what does that mean in our practical lives? It means taking 15 minutes a day to read about real estate investing. It means taking 15 minutes at the start of the day, the end of the day, each and every day to invest in your education. We got this. We drive. Most of us commute to work, and that is prime time to plug in an audiobook, right? To learn a new skill. It's a prime time to be listening to podcasts. Prime time, to be here, plugging in and taking advantage of your commute. So if you got a 15-minute drive to work, guess what? To and from, you could digest 30 minutes of content every single day. That compounds to a great amount of knowledge over the course of your journey. If you work out in the mornings or whatever that looks like for you, you can put, you can plug in the earbuds and be getting content, and really benefiting and really learning throughout the course of your day. Other things like analyzing deals on your lunch break. Every day you could be looking on Zillow and trying to run numbers. You can be looking at different neighborhoods, getting familiar with them. On your way home each day, you can pull off into a different neighborhood and drive that neighborhood and understand the number of renters there and understand the number of sellers there and the condition of the neighborhoods you're thinking about investing in, right? Those are things that we can do every single day, right? Every day you can decide, hey, I'm going to watch one more podcast. I'm going to watch one more video on YouTube, or I'm going to bigger pockets and listen to something like that. All these things compounded over time yield great results. And I believe you can understand anything if you break it down into small enough pieces. Now, I've been trying to teach my son this lesson, and he's this was his first year playing tackle football. He's 8 years old. He would get out there and try to run around and he was still trying to figure out how to play the game. And as the year went on, he got better. Now, his team didn't have a really good season. They didn't win many games. They didn't score many points. And I asked him as each game was like, okay, buddy, look, you're getting better, right? You're getting your footwork better. You're getting faster. You're getting better at catching the ball. You're getting better at running. And he did. He got better as the year went on. And then when the season was over, I was like, okay, bud, listen, now we got to do the little things. The little things are going out in the backyard every day and spending some time working on your footwork, getting your feet quick. It's doing some push-ups or carrying around some weights. All of these things done well over time will yield you the results. And in his mind, he's like, well, I want to score a touchdown. I want to score touchdowns. I want to catch the ball. And I'm like, well, listen, when you do the little things, visualize yourself catching. Visualize yourself scoring a touchdown. And if you do the little things consistently and you do the little things well, guess what? The big things will happen. I have seen that lived out in my own life in the form of reaching out to lenders, trying to find good lenders to fund my deals, consistently marketing to keep my deal funnel full, to keep deals constantly flowing in. I've learned that by trying to network with other people, even making videos, right? Getting to the place of every week I've got to publish content so that you can, benefit from that material, right? But we must recognize that the enemy of our future self is but we've got to realize that the enemy of our best self is our future self. So where we are right now is the time we need to take action. This is the time where we need to, really put in that time, really put in that energy and do the little things really well. There's a quote that I love, and it says that change is hard at the beginning, it's messy in the middle, but it's glorious in the end. And what that talks about, right, is when you're taking a compound effect, doing those little things at first, they may feel awkward. I remember, even calling sellers, or having talking to a seller trying to negotiate a deal, recognizing whether or not that person is motivated or not, being rejected on the phone. That's messy at the beginning. That's hard at the beginning. Even going through the process of trying to figure out, okay, well, how are we going to work the numbers out? That's messy in the middle, right? But when we actually close that deal, right, that's glorious at the end. It's glorious at the end when you're at financial freedom, but it's hard at the beginning. It's messy in the middle, but it's glorious at the end. But I'm a firm believer, right, that we've got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And what I mean by that is there is so much that we don't know, and we can't let those things say, well, they're just too big, right? But if we compound them over time, they will yield great results. There's a financial rule, it talks about compound interest, and it's a beautiful concept. And what it talks about is as you invest some money, your money earns interest. But in compounding, your interest earns interest. And the thing that I have learned is that the more I am prepared for opportunities, the more opportunities come my way. So that's the compound effect at work. So I want to just encourage you guys, because the compound effect is a powerful concept. There's actually a book called The Compound Effect. I highly encourage you to read it, because it talks about, how, when our small decisions that we make, they are resulting in something. And sometimes we don't recognize what's going on right now. But our small decision to not read today, or to veg out and binge watch Netflix, our small decision to sit on the couch and not exercise, right? It amounts to something. But then when you make the decision on the other way, to read, you make the decision to go exercise, you make the decision to make an offer, to network, to do all the things that are going to help you be successful, those decisions compound. And it may not be an immediate result, but you got to remember, this is a marathon and it's not a sprint. So I want to encourage you guys, take those actions. Don't underestimate what you can do in 5 years, because I believe that every one of us are 5 to 7 years away from financial freedom if we apply the sound principles of real estate investing. It's tried and true. I'm living it out right now. I have been blessed with, 12 properties in my portfolio, 30 doors, right? And growing, right? And continuing to grow. So I want to encourage you. I've seen it in my own life. Get the right mindset, put in the work, you'll get there. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Love you guys so much, and praying nothing but God's best for you and your family. Again, make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Share this video with somebody who needs to hear it. And if you got any questions, make sure you drop them in the comment section. Again, shout out to my folks over at Healthy Mental. Love you guys. Love what you're doing. And make sure you check them out and grab some of their merchandise. God bless. See you again soon.